Boom, and there he is.
How about this? A little lighting. I could have. That's with my phone. Oh, but look at the shadow. Ugh.
All right. Now, before we get into what we're talking about, Blaine, what do you think about this? Because what we're going to be talking about spun off from something that I was talking about somebody at work. But this is another conversation about somebody at work, telling them, because I was kind of explaining credit and why you need it and how they can build it.
Mm-hmm.
And my GM heard it, and he gave another idea and something that he apparently does personally.
Okay.
So what he does is get a loan for, I don't know, say $500 or $500. Like X amount.
Okay.
Puts that in another account and just uses that money to pay off the loan and doesn't use the loan for anything, but just to build credits.
Yeah.
That's another way you can build credit, especially if you don't have any credits.
Yeah, I've read about that. And then you just pay it off. Then you get a bigger loan. And those other people, I've seen people do that, and they don't even take like the whole life of the loan or whatever. Some of them, they just use it to get a bigger loan, and then to get a bigger loan, and then to get a bigger loan. And it seems nice to build credit. To me, I don't. I mean, we'd have to see someone who's done it to see how their numbers are affected. But to me, it seems somewhat detrimental to your average age of your credit history because you're going to have lots of not very old accounts.
Yeah, but
But
like I don't know how many times he's done, but he's mentioned that he's done that before, and I'm like, that's a good way to build credit if you're somebody that's starting off and that doesn't have any credit history.
yeah, I think it sounds like a good idea.
Somebody that needs to fix the credit history. That can be a good one because it shows that you did regular payments and all that, and you're not really spending any of your own money to pay it back.
Well, you are. With most of these loans, you'll have an interest rate.
Yeah, but I think he said if only he paid like only a couple of hundred of his own dollars, but most of it, he
Uh
didn't
huh.
touch the loan or anything. And I'm like, okay, that's actually not that bad of an idea. Interesting way to build credit,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thought.
especially if you don't have credit. That's a
If you're
good way to
trying
do
to
it.
repair your credit with that, though, you're probably gonna have a terrible interest rate, and it's probably gonna be very expensive. Because if you get bad credit, you have to pay extra for money.
Okay, yeah, that is a fair point. I didn't think about that.
So that's a thought. Sounds like it could be expensive if you don't have good credit.
Yeah. But anyway, so what we're actually going to be talking about today, and is oops, didn't mean to do that. It's hold on, let me see what I sent you because honestly, I can't remember what it was. Hold on.
Did you take out a loan to pay off your credit card debt? Pretty much what you said.
Yeah, get something like that. Blah 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 blah. That's from March.
Yeah. Well, Brandon's looking something up right now, so he's gonna cut
No,
this bit
actually, you're
out.
right. You're right. I can't find it, so I'm like, eh.
Let's get it.
Yeah. All right. So you actually mentioned it before the cut, basically. But I'll summarize it. Um, do you think it's a good idea to get a loan to pay off, say, credit card debt? Or yeah, let's just use credit card debt as an example.
Okay, great. So, um, welcome back, everybody, to the For the Long Haul podcast. This is Blaine sitting alongside.
Brandon, I just realized we didn't do that on the last one
So,
we
time for the
recorded,
cut
and
in. So, y'all
huh?
heard a little bit about it in the pre banter, but what Brandon has brought up by his, I heard it in the pre. If you listen to that or you cut straight to here, is that, should you get a loan to pay off your credit cards if you have credit card debt? That's your question.
I mean, yeah. That's basically there's nothing more to say, but that.
And so that's this question to me. And I said, let's talk about this on the podcast because that's a good thought.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion about it, I think it's a good idea because credit cards are always high interest rates pretty much, especially when you're early on. As you get really good credit, there's some cards that'll give you a way better interest rate, but still it's very high. Like even like, oh, it's only a 9% interest rate. That's pretty good for a credit card, but typically you're looking at 24.99 interest on your credit cards by default. I'm pretty sure. And max APR I think is 24.99 on credit cards because they cap them so they can't just eat you into the ground if you just carry a little bit of debt and they get in trouble and to protect the consumer. But yeah, so if you're paying, you got your credit card. So in this example, I like to think you either got one, you've maxed it out, or you've got a couple and you've got a little bit of some debt you're carrying. Well, all those cards are charging you literally a quarter of your money in interest per year. That's a
I was gonna say
lot.
otherwise too, but that works too.
Well, I was actually I think I was about to say something like that. And but pretty much, yeah, you're getting charged really crazy interest rate. And so if you are not really able to manage it, like you can't quickly pay that kind of thing off, you went too far, you've dove too deep, you can get a loan. If you can get a loan, and that's the thing Credit Karma advertises a lot about, if you use that to check your credit, getting a loan, and you can, what they call that is consolidating your debt into like one thing. So you can get a loan to cover all of that. You probably can get a better interest rate on the loan than you will have for your APR. And thus you're going to save money because let's say it's going to take you, no matter what, you looked at your finances, like a year to pay all this off. And your 24.99 interest is crazy. What if you get a loan for 12%? That is a great deal. And and then you can consolidate it. You've got one place you're paying the payments to. And so you don't have to juggle these things, especially if you're really bad. If you've missed some payments, you get to pay a late fee. That's not helping. And so you can consolidate it all into one, get a loan, pay them all off. Boom, they're gone. And then you have just one thing you got to worry about paying every month. It's going to be the same amount every month. And then as long as you don't keep adding to those credit cards, but at least it'll be paid off. And then so if you do use the credit cards, you can keep paying that off like it's a debit card and then focus on paying your loan. And that's going to save you a lot of money by doing that.
Yeah, see, that's the one argument I was thinking about. I was like, that's the like positive I was thinking about, and somebody else brought that up since like me and somebody were talking about this beforehand. But like the one thing that was kind of like making me iffy is like in the end, it's still the same amount of money I have to pay. But you are right about not paying as much because of interest rates and all that.
Well, in the end, it's not the same amount of money you have to pay. If you can pay it all off at the end of the month, well, there's no point of you getting the loan. The thing you're doing is to avoid paying as much. So, because if you're paying, 24.99% interest, that's 0.2499 times, you got $10,000. Let's say it takes you a year. You're going to pay that plus 10. So you're going to pay $12,499 in a year for that $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get that $10,000 there, and then you can, let's say you can get it, at a 12% interest rate, you're going to spend $11,200. And so, that's like saving you $1,000 in that. And so, and that's just, you have $10,000 in debt. You could have 30,000. Like it could be much worse. So that's going to allow you to put it down in something manageable. It may not even be a year-long loan. It could be more than one. And, you'll have to look at your options. They have loans that are for that kind of thing that are longer than a year for sure. Because a lot of loans are longer than that. And so, and give yourself something, manageable with the right interest rate. That's the whole point of doing this, is just to save you money, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on credit card debt. Don't carry that debt. Maybe you have to do it for a cycle or two, to hang on. That's, you got to do what you got to do. You spent maybe a little bit much, but hey, you'll make it. But if you've just went head over heels, just all in on some silly stuff, not being smart with your money, then that's the problem. And that's when this is a really good idea, because the whole point is saving money here.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I lost my train of thought for a second. So would you say this would be a good idea for everybody, or would it be a situational by situational basis?
I think the ideal person for this is someone who needs a long-term solution. And because if let's say you're carrying, $2,000 in credit card debt right now, it's not too much compared to a lot of people have a lot more on average. 2,000, and you said I could pay that off in 2 months. Well, then it makes more sense for you if you're gonna get it done and pay it off, because you paid off short term. Then it doesn't make sense to get this long term solution. Just like if you're going to live somewhere for only a year, you shouldn't buy a house and then move it in a year. You're going to resell the house. You got to live in that house for a couple years to get that return. It's a long-term strategy. So it's for someone who is this short term, you can fix the problem. It doesn't make sense to me to get a loan to fix these, then consolidate these. Just pay one off at a time. If one's a higher percentage rate than the others, pay that one off first, and then go on from there. And then pay the next one, most expensive one off, to the next one, and then you can make your minimum payments on the other ones, and then whatever is the most expensive debt, get rid of that first. But if it's going to take you over at least a year by your calculations to pay all this off, it makes a lot more sense in my mind to consolidate it with a loan like that. Something easily manageable for your multiple cards. And the whole point of all this is reducing the cost of the money that you've borrowed.
Interesting point. Interesting idea. Interesting point.
So at this point, how much you want to put into this about you needing to answer this question? Do you have a short term?
I was planning to pay it off, but basically, because I had an entire plan planned out, but then me getting laid off affected everything.
Yeah.
Because I remember, right. It was like 2 or 3 weeks before I got laid off. I was like, okay, because I was paying it off at a decent rate, and it was just because, I was like, I bit the bullet on some stuff. I was like, you know what? I've been saving for this. I got these credit cards. Let me just use them. I'll pay it off, instead of saving for it, long term. I bit the bullet. That's what ended up happening. And I was doing a good job, but then, I was like, all right, let me try to pay this all off and do all this stuff. Because I was originally planning to pay off my car and do this small debt I have all by the end of the summer. My calculations were to have 90% of it or 100% of it done by the summer.
Right.
Because I did my calculations and all that. Then I was like, oh, hey, we had a talk. I got laid off, and I was like, that was my entire plan out the window.
Have you been paying that bigger payment on your car throughout this whole time of carrying the more expensive debt?
So honestly, the debt wasn't recent. It was probably within a year recent.
So this is your credit card debt that you've had. You've had it for about a year?
Yeah, a little over a year now.
So, and like I mentioned, prioritizing more expensive debt. So the money is more expensive to have. So you've been paying a larger car payment, because you want to pay it off.
I was able to do both for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And so at this point, when money gets tighter, you need to, even then when the money wasn't as tight, I would have shifted. If you constantly have a bad spending habit and spending past your means, you're going to keep building the credit card debt. So if you were at a reasonable spot, you were able to pay a large amount on your car payment to get it done early, and you had the credit card, you should have shifted from in my opinion, to doing the minimum payment on the car, because that debt's a lot cheaper. And then putting all that extra money you had towards your credit card debt to pay that off, because that's significantly more expensive money to have, borrowed.
Yeah.
And getting rid of that first and then shifting back to your
it also wasn't
payments.
until because I think it was on one of the new ones. It was on one of the new ones that was I had a year with no APR, whenever you get a new credit card.
Yeah.
And I just passed that year not too long ago, and I was like, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got a monthly reminder for my Amex. Right now, it gave me a promotion, and it's not a brand new card. I've had it, but it was saying free interest for a year if you want to just turn it on. And I said, yeah, sure. Sounds great. I'm going through some changes in my life. I may use it. Why not? Because the only there's no con to it unless I can't handle it and I forget and I add debt. And then I don't pay it off by the time it's due, and then you have that amount. And that's how they make their money, because they kind of rid you in a little bit. And say, hey, well, how about this? This could help you. And then you take advantage of it, but then you've carried the debt a little longer, and then you have to pay it because you went past the year mark. And then that's that's the whole point of what they're doing with the marketing. And so I have it turned on, and every month I have a reminder on my phone, and it says like it's till like November or something or October that my Amex, it's its special deal goes away for the free no APR for a year.
Yeah. Cause see what my plan right now is if I do this, what I'm gonna do with my credit cards is just because I haven't been using them besides paying them off. Maybe like once a month if I need to, I use it for gas.
See, here we go. I've got a reminder. Happens the third day of every month. Amex 12 months 0% APR starts 2/10/21. So I know by 10/2, so November 2nd of 22 that ends.
Yeah.
So like I have that on here. I had a reminder, so I just searched Amex in my events so I could see because I couldn't remember what day I had it on. I got too many reminders, and so like I have a reminder that I have 5% cash back on gas, and so now I remember to use my Discover card, and that's going to end sometime soon. And then so like I can see that is until end of June. So end of next month, then I won't get 5% back on gas.
Yeah, it also sucks because I had to use them whenever I got laid off too. So because like something happened, I was like, "Crap, here you go."
Yeah.
So so what I'm thinking of doing is if I get the loan, using it to pay them off, and then just putting one subscription on each card, so that way they won't be counted as inactive, and the subscriptions they'll be small enough to where I can just pay them off easily.
And the other thing, I mean, you could do that. I think that sounds like a good idea. Or the other thing you could do is you just got to pretty much use it once a year.
Is it once a year?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much once a year from the best of my knowledge that I've learned from.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want to be safe, just like what you're doing, a cheap subscription on it, great. And that's the only thing. The only thing you buy with it, well, then you can set up automatic payments. And as long as because that's not going to be very much money in the card. So it's not going to hit you with surprise $600 in your account that you weren't prepared for. It's going to be like 15. And so you can set up automatic payments so you don't forget about it because you don't use the card. And that's another thing. Or you just, every couple of months, you just buy a pack of gum with it. So you make a reminder on your phone, hey, buy some gum when you go to the gas station. And you put it for like a week straight or something. So when you do get gas, you've been thinking about your reminder.
Yeah, though I am hoping that I can get a new job that will be paying me almost the same amount as what I was doing by the end of the summer. Because I am working to try to get a new higher paying job. Not saying that I don't like my job right now, but
yeah,
it's
doesn't pay the bills as good.
It's a little over half of what I used to make.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was between jobs, I accumulated some credit card debt, and I had debt for months that I accumulated. And then when I finally started getting a new job and I was making, good money, I was paying hefty chunks into that. And, and I was carrying several grand in credit card debt. And I didn't tell anybody about it because I was just doing my thing. I'm like, well, we'll make do. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to broadcast to everybody. It's like, oh, hey, this happens. You know me, I'm the kind of people that kind of like gloat a broadcast. We show it whenever we do it. We don't like gloat.
Yeah, exactly. So, things are going great. I don't brag about it. Things are going terrible. I don't sit and complain the whole time.
As the quote friend of ours, and I literally did talk to him about this. We're like the G in lasagna, silent.
Yeah, dude.
I was talking to him about something, and I'm like, am I not like that? He's like, you got a point, but I can't believe you actually quoted me. And I'm like,
so that was Landon, huh?
Huh?
Was that Landon?
No, that wasn't Landon.
Or was that Jay?
That was Jay.
Because Landon says that too, but you don't talk to Landon as much.
No, I haven't talked to him in a while. But no, it's like because Landon posted something, and then he said Landon's like the G in lasagna.
G's moving silence like the G in lasagna.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember the exact line.
We're like real G's moving silence, So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, when things going bad, nobody wants to broadcast that.
Yeah.
But when things going good, a lot of people like to brag about it and stuff. And I don't know. I don't need to gloat about nothing. So
yeah. Although I would say this, kind of just cross promotion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just remember this, and you and me were talking about this, and I was talking to Jay about this. It's like, hey, win this for the long term. Win this for the long haul. It's like we gotta make sure. It's like it doesn't matter how the views are right now. We just gotta make sure long term it gets up, because once the views goes up, the likes go up because me and him just made a TikTok for the
cool.
Pokemon podcast.
That's cool.
And I was showing, and like every like maybe once a day or twice a day, or maybe like once every 2 days, I like taking a screenshot and send it to him the update status. Oh hey,
Yeah.
sweet. Oh god. And like right now we don't have that many. We have our most popular video is about 914 views, but only got 29 likes.
Okay.
And like I remember I checked in like after 5 hours of that video being up, it was at 0. And like he was like, dang, I was like, hey, he's like, we're in this for the long term. It's like we're not gonna go viral automatically.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I need to set up more stuff like that because I was like thinking, it's like, okay, there's stuff we can do for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. You're doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
And ideally people enjoy it along the way, and that's it's kind of what it's for.
Yeah.
And but your basis to start with, you're doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah, that was a little side tangent that got me starting because of the whole like, it's like, hey, don't gloat and all that.
Yeah. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't know. I don't do that.
So I mean, I don't really, because I'm like, I do me.
Yeah, I'm just doing my thing, enjoying myself.
Yeah. What the? Oh, I know what this is.
Well, I think we're pretty much gave you that the answer to your
so I gotta ask
question
one thing. Since you mentioned that you had some yourself, have you thought of did you do it or did you think about doing it?
I didn't do it, and I didn't think about doing it either. I don't know. To me, it was just like, I got this. I'm gonna get out of this.
Okay.
But at the same time, I wasn't making any money at the time, and so like you can't qualify for a loan if you don't make money.
Okay.
And I mean, you can, but you're gonna have to give up assets, essentially like titles to your car and stuff like that. And that stuff, I wouldn't do that. That stuff is like really high interest rate and things. And
yeah,
I don't like the way that any of that stuff sounds.
Then that's like a risky gamble because you have up, you lose your car.
Yeah, and then like you take your title, then they're gonna put your name on your title, then they have your title, so you can't sell your car quickly.
I had to do my first insurance claim ever.
Oh no!
Hey, I didn't cause the accident.
You got in an accident? I don't know. You didn't tell me.
Oh, this just happened this morning.
Oh my god. Okay.
You're actually the third person I've told.
No.
So yesterday after I went to the doctor and all that, for the most part I'm good. Other they did recommend me going to a physician to get something checked out. More than that, what I thought was what I was worried about, didn't have to worry about.
So what?
But now there's something else I'm like kind of like wondering in the back of my head. And I'll tell you this afterwards, but so when I got home, there was a guy that was kind of parked, like not in my driveway, but blocking the access to my driveway because he was like unloading stuff into my neighbor's backyard because I think he's getting something built or construction going on in his backyard.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, no biggie. I'll just park on the side of the road or next to my house on the on the curb and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I forgot that I did that. Like, went about my day, ate, just relaxed, did stuff because it was my day off. Woke up this morning to a knocking on my door. I'm like, I was like, who's calling? Who's knocking this early in the morning? I ignored the first one. I was like, I don't want to sleep a little bit more. Knocking. And I'm like, ah, crap. Got up, put some clothes on and all that. I was like, okay, open the door. I see my neighbor across the street in my driveway, saying that, hey, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. I hit your car. My car didn't go off. I didn't see it and all that. And they have a truck and all that. And I have like a sedan.
You don't have a sedan, do you? I mean, it's a four-door car. Is that a sedan?
Yeah,
I don't know what a sedan is. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a regular car, basically.
Okay.
So cool. it was like, hey, is there any way I can send information? I was like, yeah, my phone number. Gave her the phone number. She sent the thing. I called my dad saying, hey, Dad, how do I do a claim? Oh, no. And it's not that. It's like, hey. No, ask him 2 questions. Like, hey, well, this is like, hey, if my car needs to get to the body shop and it needs to go for a couple of days, would I get a rental? He was like, it depends on your insurance and their insurance, or if you go to like a dealership, sometimes the dealership will give you a rental. I was like, okay, thanks. He was like, why are you asking? Oh, they backed into my car not 20 minutes ago. It was like, just someone's like, yeah, blah, 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 that's what happened. I was like, okay, you getting taken over? Yeah, blah, blah, yeah, they talked to me.
You got
blah, blah,
pictures?
blah. Huh?
You took pictures?
I took a picture. Like I went inside, then like I was like, found my phone, found my glasses, went outside, took a picture of my car. I can send
Uh,
it to you if you want to.
yeah, I want to see it. We'll look at it afterwards.
Yeah, then it was like, then probably like I went down, lay down for a little bit, and I was kind of like tired in the morning. Woke up about
Mhm.
like an hour later. I was like, all right, I gotta do this.
Ugh,
Called
okay.
them, did that stuff. They called me back, asking me some more questions, and I'm in the middle of that. Thankfully, my car still runs. It's just like it looks like the passenger door may not open anymore.
So they rammed the hell out of your car then, huh?
Not much, but I think the area they hit it
It was weak.
makes it to where it won't open. Maybe I
Damn,
didn't
man.
try that hard to open it because it was like 8 o'clock it was like 8 o'clock in the morning when I took a picture and like opened it.
Yeah.
And I was like still tired. I was like groggy. I was like, I wasn't planning on getting up this early.
I want to know if you how this impacts your insurance for a later episode. Post claim, how was your insurance affected?
Let's see. Let's see. So
Well,
it should
it's
be
not
around
going to be
September.
yet. Yeah,
Huh?
it's not gonna be yet, but they see like is your insurance gonna go up? You know, there's some insurances that have accident forgiveness. If you claim, they're not gonna do anything. But
And I wasn't even in my car. My car was parked.
you weren't even in it, yeah.
I was
But
asleep in
even
my
then-
bed. I just saw like bang, 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 and I'm like, it's too early for someone to be banging on the door. Why is somebody banging on the door? See, it was like I thought it was like my
Amazon package or something.
no, it's so the doctor I went to, they're like, hey, I'm gonna prescribe you on this for like 2 weeks. It's gonna get shipped to your house by this company. I'm gonna do a dosage for a month, but if it doesn't get better in 2 weeks, I want you to still continue it. I'm just gonna do a prescription for a month, so that way in case it doesn't get better in 2 weeks, that you still actually gotta check to see if it's come in yet.
Okay.
But like, that's what it did, and I thought it was like just a thing. I was like, oh. And I thought sometimes whenever you get packages, they knock on your door and leave.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. I was like, okay, it's like Then I heard the bing bing again. I'm like, do I need a sign? Why do I have to sign for this? So I got up. Then it was like the neighbor, not the one next to my house, the one across the street.
Okay.
Was in my driveway, and then she told me what happened.
Well,
like,
damn, they really backed out.
Huh?
It's not that close to where your house is, especially with that because it goes around a little bit. And I don't think it's that close. I can't believe they backed into your car.
No, well, it's literally people across the street from me.
Yeah.
And and like I'm on the side of the road.
Okay.
Like I'm in front of my house, my car.
Yeah.
It's
So
not what
you're
you
not in
park,
front of the other house. It's in front of your house, in front of your lawn, right? You're not in
Yeah.
front of where that white truck used to park.
Yeah. Which is like, in front of their house too,
Yeah.
I'm just on my side of the road.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And they have a truck. So they were backing out, and there was like a lot of cars there because there was construction going on across the street to the left of my house, which is going to be to the right of their house.
Yeah.
So like, I guess like the way the angle she backed out of the truck, and like the rear end of the truck hit it.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, like I have a hitch on, so like I would have, poked it real bad. I leave
Yeah.
that hitch in. That saved me from stuff. And so I will never take it out now because I've seen it save me. You were with me one time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But
Honestly, I thought what wheels about that situation over thinking about the same one is the fact that you didn't have your foot on the brake.
I guess not. I kind of don't remember, but I hit the wall kind of hard.
Because we were forced into that. So you obviously didn't have your foot on the brake, which is odd for you.
Well,
Or
I
having
probably
it
had my
flop.
foot on the brake, but there's engaged and there's just sitting on it. I was
Yeah.
probably just sitting on it a little bit, or partial braking, not much, and yeah, just backed into a wall.
Yeah,
Had
but
no scratches or nothing because I had the hitch in. I will never, and that's not I had a second thing that I've had happen before, but I will never take that hitch out because it has saved me from damage on my car.
yeah. Anyway,
Now,
that's
I
it.
want to know.
Huh?
Anyway, but like I want to know. We're gonna have to talk about this later. How did it affect your insurance at all? Making a claim because
I
it's
paid the
literally
insurance
it's
now
all
because my insurance went up this year for some reason. So I looked at reasons of why your insurance could go up. It could be because of the people in your area that you may not have been involved in a crash or anything, but people that have the same company as you could have been, and that's possibly why my insurance went up. Since last time I paid about 800 to 900. This time I paid 1,000 for 6 months. And I was like, what the F? So I looked it up, looked up the reasons. It could be like the area you're in, the increase in all that, etc., etc. And I'm like, mother effers, be more careful. I don't want my insurance to go up.
Goddamn. Yeah, dude. Well, I've always been raised with, and everyone always mentions that. Got to use your insurance. It's gonna go up. So I want to hear, like, because I don't think you have like, do you have like accident forgiveness or anything like that, or the company that talks about, first time, or you don't use it very often, they're not gonna go up. Have you ever heard about that for your company?
Yeah, I have. I was talking to somebody. I forgot what they said about it. It was like, I called them at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like still like half awake. And then they just called me a second ago, like probably like at 1 o'clock. But the only thing I did take away from the 1 o'clock call was, hey, so you don't have rental coverage, so we won't be able to like cover a rental if you get a rental. I'm like,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
Well,
Because like if I have to take my car into the shop, how am I gonna get to? And it's gonna have to be more than a day. How am I gonna get to work? Because that's my main concern.
Yeah, you have to have somebody help you out.
Anybody else that I know that lives in town, they go into work earlier than I do.
Yeah, do what you
And
got to
their
do.
schedule fluctuates on when
You
they
may
get
have
off.
to walk. It's not that far, but it'll take you 40 minutes, and it's going to be midday. It's going to be very hot.
I mean, I just go in early in the morning, just chill though. In all honesty, if that happened,
Well, yeah.
I am not going on a 40-minute walk when it's 100 degrees. I mean, 90 degree plus now in Texas. Screw that.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got a bicycle. You make it little faster there.
I mean, I'm gonna buy a bicycle if I have to do if it comes to that. Plus, I want to buy a bike anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, that was the episode. Plus a little ranting of what happened to me today. Like always, you guys can go to Instagram at
For the Long Haul Podcast on Instagram. And if you want to send us an email, sponsorship information, or if that's your preferred method of communication, ftlhpodcast@gmail.com.
And to the next one, you guys have. Oh wait, hold on, we forgot this one.
We forgot this one. Oh, on YouTube, we have a video format. So if you want to go and look at us on YouTube, love to look at our shining faces, talking, being, ourselves out here.
Sending a message in the middle of our outros.
Sending a message. Brandon freaking out about something. Brandon is real good about showing some energy on that. And so if you can check us out on YouTube if you want to, For the Long Haul Podcast.
All right, you guys, until next one, you guys have a good one.
All right.
And I just sent you the picture, by the way.
Okay. We'll have to see it. Y'all see you later. Drive safe.